Welcome to part 10 of Paul's letter to the Galatians. And this is January the 3rd, 2025 by man's calendar. Yep, this is January the 3rd, 2025 by man's calendar. And we're going to jump straight on into chapter 6 of the Galatians. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, you which are spiritual, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness, considering yourself lest you be tempted. If somebody comes to you to tell you something that God has told them, it's because God sent them. You shouldn't smite the messenger of God. You should be grateful that God loved you enough to send someone to you. But no, so often, because people wanted to check on you, at least people were checking on you. At least people checks on you. At least people love you enough to not want to see you backslide or such like. They're trying to help you stay on the straight and narrow. No one came to me and said, "How are you doing?" Not really. And them that did, it was just from the mouth out. They didn't stick around long enough to actually hear the answer to the question. So that shows they didn't really care how I was or how I'm doing. Had they cared, they would have sat for a spell and said, honestly, how are you doing? I don't even try to have conversations with people now. They come to me and say, how you doing? I either say I'm blessed or I'm good. They ain't no need to go no further than that. They ain't listening no way. Some of you ministers are really bad for that. You don't genuinely care about your flock and what they're going through. This is why you are never going to get people saved. You're never going to be able to help people because you are not genuine. You want to hit it and go, hit it and go, hit it and go. You're like a baby bluegill after a little tiny piece of bait that's left on the hook after the big fish done got it. You just keep biting and going, biting and going. Yep. You think you're better than people, apparently. That's why you think that there's no need for you to care and have compassion for people and to really genuinely care about what they're going through. You are not like Jesus. Jesus would have took the time to spend time with his flock. He would have showed them that he cared. Now, let's get on back into Galatians 6, verse 2. Bear you one another's burdens. But you can't do that just by hitting and missing and going on. How you doing? Well, that's good. You know, I actually heard a minister say to someone, well, that's good, ain't it? He didn't really listen to what the woman had just said to him. She told him how her family was sinning. committing sins, and told him what they were. I literally heard this in the back of a church one day as one of the ministers was shaking hands, and he wasn't really listening to what she said to him, and he said, well, that's good, ain't it? I think it puzzled the woman. She shut up. I know it puzzled me. You think it's good that her family is sinning, I thought? Now, I'm not going to say who that minister was. I'm sure the Lord will deal with him on it. And yeah, this was a recent event within the last few months. Within the last couple months, in fact. Just a few weeks ago. And yes, you should wonder if it is you that I'm referring to, because probably, mayhaps it was. And you should certainly do better in the future and listen to people when they're talking to you. It's rude to have your mind in 17 different places when you're supposed to be listening to a person, or when you're trying to talk to a person. It shows lack of interest. You might as well be looking at your phone while trying to have a conversation with people. I hate when people come in to work and they'll try, where I work, and they'll try to place an order and them on the phone. Or I hate when a person comes in to place an order and they're with a great crowd, and then like 2 to 3 people are trying to tell me the order at one time. It's like, what? 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 Hold on, one at a time, please. And then all the other noises that's going on in the place, plus 3 different people talking to me at once, don't work out too well, and orders get messed up, and then I get the blame for it. It ain't my fault if you tell me 17 different things. It's called shut up and one at a time talk. Don't be rude. And if you on the phone, get off the phone. Quit coming through the drive-thrus and stuff and being on the phone. Don't be rude. Your phone conversation is not more important than the time you're wasting of that person who's on the job. Quit being rude. Jesus will whip you all out the temple. Y'all are rude. You do not love and treat each other well. Going back into verse 2. Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. But you're not really doing this if you're faking conversations and pretending to listen to people. And the Lord knows the difference, even if the people you're talking to don't. But I'm quite certain that that woman who told you that her children were in sin and she was asking you to pray for them, she was asking for advice, and you just told her that was good, wasn't it? I'm quite certain she was puzzled by that. And I'm quite certain she realized you weren't really listening to her. For if a man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. Got a lot of that going on in the churches today, don't we? And even in the world, not just in the churches. It's everywhere. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another. For every man shall bear his own burden. That means load. Let him that is taught the word communicate to him that teaches in all good things. That means share with. Share the word. In other words, be not deceived. See, there's another place where we're being told not to be deceived. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man sows, that shall he reap. Would you like it, ministers, if someone you was talking to did not really show interest in the things you were saying or concern for you and your family, and they just dismissed what you said, and you could tell they weren't listening to you? Would you like that? You're going to reap what you sowed, and that's what you're sowing. You wonder why your churches ain't growing and why they're falling away? Right here's why. Because you faking it. You are not loving people. You faking it. For he that sows to the flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, which is destruction. But he that sows to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. As we have therefore opportunity, let us do good to all men, especially to them who are of the household of faith. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll let you know if it ever happens. There has been some, but not from the places where it ought to have been. The minister should have been treating everyone equally and not treating some like they were better because they had money or education. And you claim you're Christ-like, yet in truth you are nothing like him. He would not have done this. He would have not have treated people better because they had money and things of this world or because they had education and whatnot. Look how he even treated those that were in to politics and all that stuff. And look who he treated well. The poor and lowly who didn't have educations. Look who he went to. He didn't go to the alley rich. He didn't go to people just because they might could do something for him. He went to people he could do something for instead. He didn't have anything to give, nor do I, except for his truth. That's what he had to give, and that's what I had to give. But people will come to me like they think I have all kinds of money just because I'm doing these videos and stuff or whatever. I don't make any money off this, and I don't want to. I work for what I get. And I scrape by the hair of my head. But there ain't nothing I want in this world, so I'm good. Because I don't want everything. Are you content, really? Are you lying to people, trying to beg from other people because you think they have something they can give you and that they'll be charitable to you because they love the Lord and serve the Lord? Bible says work for what you get. Now, I'll see you in the next part.